please. All right, we are back on the record on this file. I do want to reflect for a moment that this is kind of an unusual case. The petition was filed September 1st, and we did have a hearing that same day. We welcomed Ms. Frederica Gavin on the file from a tribe out of Alaska. At the end of the day, she had requested for us to give her some more time to review the allegations in the petition. So we adjourned to the 13th of September. And at that time, there was discovered to be Ms. Gavin as a contradiction or a conflict, I should say. And we had the president of the tribe join us for a few minutes. But again, there was a request for more time to allow the QEW that was anticipated to take over also as the caseworker to appear, and for Ms. Thomas to be able to appear as well. So here we are today on the 25th, back on the record on the same case. I've allowed Ms. Thomas some time to talk with our newest representative for the tribe as well as the president, and I've spoken with our attorneys that we have in-house here as well about the case. And as I understand it, there may be a petition coming alleging that the father in this case will also be indicated as a respondent. Neither the father nor the mother has appeared today, unfortunately. We do have some of the attorneys, however, so let's go to appearances.
Lee Heiss, lawyer guardian ad litem.
Nastasia Thomas, counsel for the department. Ms. Fullerton.
Amy Fullerton for the department.
Michael McFarland representing mother who is not present, Your Honor.
Have you heard from your client?
I have. She called me. I returned her call. Her number is not accepting calls.
Well, thank you for that update. We'll look for any additional updates on the locations of the parents. Any comments on the, well, we need to introduce our tribal representatives. If we can have your names for the record, please.
Kiera Melton.
I'm sorry. Kiera,
Kiera
right?
Melton. Yeah.
Will you spell it for us one more time, please?
KIARAHMELTON.
Thank you so much. And you are the anticipated qualified expert witness as well as the thinking you'll be the caseworker from the tribe, is that right?
Yeah, the equal coordinator.
Thank you, I appreciate that. All right. Mr. President, would you like to introduce yourself? Can you hear us okay? Perhaps Ms. Thomas, you could tell us a bit about his role. I know you were able to speak with him.
Yes, Your Honor, my understanding was that Ms. Melton would be the case manager worker, but that she would not be testifying as relates to the qualified expert witness. That would be Mr. President, and I believe the first name is Percy, but I'm not sure on his last name, but that he would be our expert witness. That is my understanding.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Could you give us your full name and spell it, please?
Yeah, Percy Ballard Sr. I'm the president of Native Village of Buckland. I will be doing the cultural expert.
Okay, is your first name Percy?
Yeah, Percy.
Thank you. And how do you spell your last name?
Ballard, B as in boy, ALLOT. Senior. It's a.
Thank you. Okay, got it. All right, comments for the record on the sidebar or the case, Ms. Thomas?
Thank you, Your Honor. I was able to speak with the tribal members that are present with us today, representatives. And it was my understanding that there was support for the removal from mother, because our petition specifically referenced making efforts to get the child back with her father. since then, there have been allegations made against father, and we are going to file a petition naming him as a respondent today. And so I discussed with the tribe representatives adjourning this one more time so they could have an opportunity to review the new petition and whether the removal is still appropriate according to their standards.
As I understand it, an ICPC request for relative placement is also pending. Are you familiar with that?
That is my understanding. There are paternal grandparents in Alaska and another relative, I believe, in California, and I can confirm that with Ms. Fullerton if she is sworn in.
Well, before we do that, any comments on the sidebar, Mr. McFarland, Ms. Heiss?
I believe that's covered. I take no position though without a client.
I just informed the court that I visited with the child and her needs are being met in her current placement.
Thank you. All right, we've had a development. It appears we've had Ms. Carla Collier join us. Okay, I have someone logged in from Carla Collier. Would you please introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm here. I'm sorry I've been having technical difficulties this morning, Your Honor.
All right, and your name is?
Carla Collier.
Thank you, welcome. We'll make some time for you to speak with your attorney, but you should know that members of the tribe have appeared today, and it looks like there's going to be a request to move the hearing one more time for further investigation, but we'll give you some time to talk to Mr. McFarland in a moment. Okay, Ms. Thomas, you wanted to hear from Ms. Fullerton?
Yes, Sharon, I believe that she can testify as to the ICPC progress.
Very good, Deputy Ames.
Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Ms. Fullerton, how are you familiar with this matter?
I currently supervise Cameron Cusick, and he is the assigned investigator to this case.
And have you also worked closely with him during the investigation of this case?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
And as you've heard, there have been, or can you please provide us an update as to whether ICPC packets or inquiries have been sent out for this filed?
Yes, ICPC packets were prepared for both a paternal aunt who resides in California, as well as the paternal grandparents who reside in Alaska. And both ICPC packets were sent on 9/19.
And do you have any estimate, or can you give us any information about that process and how long it might take?
I really cannot speak on that, other than that I do know that it will probably take at least 6 months.
And do you have any update on the whereabouts of either parent?
My understanding in speaking with the foster care worker is that Miss Collier is currently living at a campground in Kentucky. We had a scheduled family team meeting last week that she did not show up for. My understanding is that Dad, Mr. Thomas, is possibly incarcerated in the state of Washington, but I can't be 100% certain that he is indeed lodged. However, he has been charged with a couple of counts of CSC.
Thank you. And have the grandparents or the paternal aunt and paternal grandparents, have they been invited to participate in any of the family team meetings or anything like that, to the best of your knowledge?
No, that is our intent. We wanted to have separate family team meetings first with both mom and dad to just kind of go over some ground rules. And then our plan was to move forward with having meetings with both the grandparents and the aunt and uncle, or the aunt, I should say.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, I have no further questions of Ms. Fullerton as it relates to the ICPC process right now.
Questions?
I do. For the record, what is ICPC? I'm sure my client does not know the abbreviations. I may not either, quite frankly.
It's our interstate compact. They're the agency that's responsible for doing all licensure of relatives outside of the state of Michigan. And it's actually every state in the country utilizes ICPC in order to streamline processes for transferring children across state lines.
When you said my client did not appear for the family team meeting, you mean she did not participate because obviously she's out of state and could not appear, correct?
Well, it was a Zoom FTM. Ironically, she had been reminded of the FTM and did not show up, but about 45 minutes after the scheduled FTM, she did put a message on a group chat on Facebook that we use at our agency that didn't really have anything to do with the FTM or why she missed that.
Okay. And how do you know that the this interstate study is going to take 6 months?
I don't know that to be the case. However, in my experience, that's typically, it takes upwards of 6 months. Perhaps it can be shorter. I do know that Mr. Thomas's parents in Alaska, I believe, were studied for the last situation where Uta was in care. So I don't know if that may affect this case, and maybe it will not take as long. But I do know that they also have other grandchildren in their care, but are still willing to care for Uta.
Nothing further.
No questions, thank you.
All right, Ms. Fullerton, is there a way to request for an expedited investigation?
We can certainly do that. I can't make any promises, but I can certainly make that request.
Would the search be aided in expediting it in any way, considering the tribal affiliation in this case?
Possibly. That is possible. We certainly can explore that.
Thank you. Ms. Thomas?
I have nothing further.
Any questions based on my questions?
No.
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you for your testimony, Ms. Fullerton. So let's just go to Ms. Collier for a minute. Ms. Collier, if you could unmute Teams, if you could swear in.
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry, I'm having difficulty hearing. I'm actually, I traveled back home to Seattle because the place where I was staying.
Ms. Collier?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? This is Deputy Ames. Can you raise your right hand, please, and let me know it's raised so I can swear you in?
Yep, raised it.
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Collier, I'd like to know if you have received a copy of the petition.
I have not received anything, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm having technical difficulties today.
Okay, do you have an email address that we could use to, I have here colliercarla65@gmail, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor, and I have not received anything from that email yet, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Fullerton will ask you to go ahead and resend the petition, please, to that email address and give us a proof of service and a copy of the email, please.
Yeah, I believe that Mr. Cusick already did that for I don't know if she thinks there's a different petition. Well, there will be another petition, but I'm pretty sure we have a proof of service for the first petition.
What I have is that she was potentially served by Mr. Cusick at the Super 8 Motel in Adrian with a petition in order of removal.
That is correct, yeah.
Okay, so Ms. Collier, do you recall receiving that at the Super 8?
Yes, Your Honor. I wasn't sure if it was that or it was a different thing, Your Honor. I apologize for the confusion.
That's all right. And we've already determined that your child is eligible for enrollment in a tribe up in Alaska. Are there any other tribes that you think would be a tribe that we would need to inquire into?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
And are there any other cases concerning your child that you're aware of for child support, custody, visitation, et cetera?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor.
Okay, well, you have the right to admit or deny the allegations in the petition and to request placement of your child at today's hearing. And I'd like to give you a chance to talk to Mr. McFarland about those options. Would you like to talk with him?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd be very appreciative of that.
All right, very good. And we're looking at coming back together on October 4th at 1:30. Would you be able to join us by Zoom at that time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good.
Yes, I
All
believe.
right. Ms. Collier, do you know by any chance where Mr. Thomas would be at this time?
No, Your Honor. Outside of the threatening messages that I got and blocked him because of, I don't know where he's at. I try to avoid him for my own safety.
That's fine. I respect that. I just need to ask you that question. So thank you for answering. All right, attorneys. At this time, I'd like to recess, allow Mr. McFarland to talk with his client. What are your thoughts?
Yes.
I would agree.
Okay. Do we need the tribe to continue on?
I don't believe that's necessary if they're aware of our next court date. And we will do our best to make sure that they get a copy of the petition and notice of hearing as soon as
Okay.
possible.
Very good. All right, Ms. Melton and President Ballot, we will be taking a break to allow Mr. McFarland to talk to the mother here, Carla Collier. You're welcome to stay on if you wish. But probably what's going to happen is we'll just be adjourning today and we'll come back together on October 4th at 1:30. That's all for today. Thank you.